Hey everyone, Scott Player Pop Cult fan here, and in this video, I just finished watching another Mickey Mouse slasher film, and I want to get my thoughts on it. This is yet another Mickey Mouse slasher film titled, get this, Mouseboat Massacre. You heard me right, Mouseboat Massacre. This is not related to the Mousetrap movie that came out last year, and also not related to the Scrape Up movie that's coming out next week. So, essentially, within less than 2 years, they've produced 3 different Mickey Mouse slasher films that are completely unrelated to each other, and it is baffling to me that this is happening with the Mickey Mouse character, and also with the whole universe, the Twisted Childhood universe that has been titled that for the Winnie the Pooh character, the Peter Pan character that just had that movie earlier this year, and I'm going to go ahead and do my review of Mouseboat Massacre, and then I have a few other things I want to talk about in regards to this other slasher universe that they're creating. So yes, let's get into this for Mouseboat Massacre. You know, this movie, I do think it's better than Mousetrap, which came out last year. And you know, this particular film, it follows this girl, Mimi, who is trying to get over this drug addiction, and everyone in her family is trying to help her. And I like that this movie, like, her family takes her to this house in the middle of the woods near a beach. So it has a similar setting to the Friday the 13th films. And then also the kind of story behind the Willie killer in this movie is that, I mean, I don't want to spoil it, but there is a little bit of a supernatural kind of element to it. And there are these videotapes. There's this one videotape about the killer in this movie, and that aspect of it definitely made me think of The Ring. Like, there's clear influences from The Ring and Friday the 13th in this film. And I mean, the Mousetrap movie, that also had like a lot of influence from Scream and Five Nights at Freddy's, and this one has a lot of influence from The Ring and also Friday the 13th. And I think the kind of premise that this has compared to Mousetrap, I do like better, because I like the story a little bit more. I like that it's focusing on a family this time around in this film. And I also think that I like the music a lot more in this one. You know how in like the Halloween movies, you get that iconic theme that announces Michael Myers' presence, or like the that announces of Jason Voorhees' presence in the Friday the 13th films. Well, there's a particular track that repeats in this movie that kind of announces Willie's presence as he's about to kill someone. And I like that. I think the score in this is better than the Mousetrap movie. And although I'll admit that the mask itself, it does look a little bit similar to the mask in the Mousetrap movie, but it's a little bit more like, you know, kind of withered a little bit more withered, a little bit more kind of how do I say this? Kind of like the Michael Myers mask in the 2018 reboot trilogy, and it's creepy. It's a creepy look for the killer, and this movie, I think, also as a slasher film, does a better job with the gory slasher effects. It's definitely a lot gorier than the Mousetrap movie. That movie is a lot more tame compared to this one, and also there are moments of you know, gratuitous nudity in this movie, which, you know, typical for this kind of movie, when it's a lot more graphic, but I do think it is better than the Mousetrap film, and I like some of the characters in this, although there are a couple characters in this that I didn't care for very much. There's this one, Mimi's older sister in this film. I don't know what else to say about her except, I mean, she's doing a job, That's all I'm gonna say about that. She's doing a job, and it's her particular character I didn't really care for, and then also, I mean, I liked the dad, Mimi's dad. I liked him, and then also, I think the therapist. There wasn't much with her character really, like Mimi's therapist. So I do think that this movie does a better job with its characters than the Mousetrap film did, and overall, I just think it is a much better film overall than Mousetrap, and it's decent. It's not a comedy like the Mousetrap movie was either. It takes itself more seriously, which I do like a little bit more. I do like the more straightforward horror compared to slasher comedies. I do like the straightforwardness a little bit more. So yeah, if I had to give Mouseboat Massacre a grade, I think I'd say about a B. I think I'd give it a solid B grade. I think it's definitely a better film than Mousetrap. And it's odd though, because the Screamboat movie, it comes out next week, April 2nd, which is also completely unrelated. And another thing worth noting about this movie in particular, Mouseboat Massacre, it is made by the same people that made Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. So it's not, I don't think it was clarified or mentioned or anything like that about this being part of the Twisted Childhood universe. I don't think it was mentioned at all in dialogue or anything like that. There weren't any connections, I don't think, to Winnie the Pooh or any of those other characters. So I don't know if this most recent film is connected to the universe. I'm not sure. It was made by the same people that made Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. So maybe, I don't know. But yeah, overall, solid film. I actually really liked it. And a few other things worth mentioning in this review is that, you know, the Screamboat movie is also not connected to the universe that they're trying to build. But there are 3 more movies coming out this year within that universe that I do want to talk about here. You know, there was a trailer for the Bambi movie, Bambi the Reckoning. I saw the trailer for that, and it gave me Jurassic Park vibes. It's just like this unstoppable, like deer, like mutated deer thing, like just rampaging in the wilderness, and it definitely gave me Jurassic Park vibes, and that actually looked kind of fun and for a horror film, and I am actually interested in seeing the Bambi movie, Bambi the Reckoning, and that looks like it could actually be like decent, but maybe not great, but decent enough. It looked fun. And then also the Pinocchio Unstrung, that's another film in the universe that's coming out, I think, in the summer. And then also, oh my god, the crossover, they're already making a crossover movie that's also coming out this year in the fall, October, supposedly. Poonieverse Monsters Assemble. Really? Poonieverse Monsters Assemble. Obviously a massive riff and spoof of the Avengers movies. Goodness gracious. Poonieverse Monsters Assemble. They're already making a crossover with all these characters from the previous installments. Winnie the Pooh, the Peter Pan character from his film, and also supposedly a few other characters that are going to be in that crossover film. And it's just, I just can't believe this is a thing. I just cannot believe it. It is crazy. But in a way, I'm kind of all for it. Like, I love these low budget slashers. They can be fun, and it's just so fascinating and also amusing to me at the same time. And I know there are people out there that don't like that these movies are happening, but they are, and there's some guilty pleasure out of these kinds of movies. There is, and they have their fans. I know that these movies have their fans, and I'm one of them. I enjoy these movies. That they're guilty pleasure slashers that may not be great, but are decent enough to enjoy. So yes, those are all my thoughts about Mouseboat Massacre. Definitely, I think, as an improvement over Mousetrap. And also, speaking of the Mousetrap movie, I did hear that they are making a sequel to the Mousetrap movie from last year. So thankfully, because they ended that movie on a cliffhanger, the Mousetrap film, which is why I was hoping that if it did get a sequel, it would be able to resolve any kind of resolution of the first film with a sequel, and they are making a sequel to it, so I'm glad for that. So we're still getting more Mickey Mouse slasher films to come, as well as a Screamboat movie next week. Who knows if I'll get the chance to see that in theaters, but we'll see. And if I do, I'll definitely do a review for it here on my channel. And if not, I've done this review for Mouseboat Massacre. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time, and have a great weekend. Peace.